about how these anacondas want some regardless of whether or not you've got buns. Also, anytime someone starts talking about how they are a grower in certain cases, it is a guarantee that they are exaggerating. Also, regarding the regurgitating their prey to relive the thrill of the kill, snakes generally only spew their food for two reasons. They feel threatened enough to not want to fight on a full stomach, or they just recognize the bitter taste of a John Voight.
Please, help! Somebody, help!
Not saying over, but still expecting a response. We'll find out that Machete is a poacher who knows at least a little bit about these snakes, and for some reason, he thinks this board with a couple of nails is going to stop an anaconda from getting in when it doesn't even stop him from escaping. This is not how nails work. Killing off Danny Trejo's character less than 5 minutes into your movie. This turning the screen brightness up, hearing a noise outside, and turning it back down was brought to you by Macintosh. There's no Chamatu Reserve in southern Venezuela. If you're going to fake your research, use places that can't be verified to exist, like Utah. Hollywood finding any reason to stay abreast of the situation.
Looks like there's sufficient evidence to suspect that these people are out there.
What do you mean by these people?
What do you mean, you people?
Are out there, can be found and studied. At least that's what I told the Grant people.
Funding an expedition based on evidence, but not actually having that person present said evidence. Even Krippendorf's tribe had more oversight than this.
My man seemed to think that the tribe was somewhere around here between these two tributaries.
Considering the number of tributaries on this map, Terry should take more of an issue with him not pointing to which tributaries he was referring to.
Well, you get me there, and I'll shoot it.
That's why I hired you.
And I really appreciate it.
Well, I wanted the best director I could get.
The least interesting pre-production conversation about Anaconda somehow makes it into the script for Anaconda.
Careful! Bordeaux! Fragile! Expensive wine!
Australian actor Jonathan Hyde plays a stuck-up Englishman in a 90s movie cliché.
I'm not the bellhop, I'm the production manager.
Then surely you can manage my things into my room.
Boomers. But also, production managers do delegate, so it's probably within the scope for her to tell Gary to do it.
Damn, Kel, you look like a little low-budget-ass Jacques Cousteau there.
That's discount Jacques Cousteau, Danny.
Ready for you, negro.
That's racist.
Double check your gear, make sure it's all on board. Pray you didn't forget your bug spray.
If you double-checked your gear, you wouldn't have to pray for this.
Our adventure begins 1,000 miles from the mouth of the mighty Amazon.
Narration.
Is it just me, or does the jungle make you really, really horny?
It's you.
At the next village! I know the people. They helped me fix my boat. I'm sorry if I've been trouble for you.
Then the director said, so that's the accent you're going with, huh? Feels a bit indistinct and maybe patronizing toward all of South America, but okay, John, you're the professional. Why do you have to go out to the tree to fish? And how do you get out here while staying dry?
Ever work in a sushi bar, mister?
Saran. False Saran.
The storm had time to stop. They all got in dry clothes. He climbed out on a tree, caught a fish, came back, and has started fishmongering it, and only now is someone asking his name.
Where are you from, Mr. Saran? Paraguay.
To someone in casting, John Voight just screamed Paraguay. Not figuratively, literally, while being inches from their face. That's my guess as to how he got this role.
We're making a documentary on the Shirishama Indians.
Scholars who still didn't know where India was in 1997.
What are those, fireflies?
According to this shot, they are little light bulbs on strings. The shot of this jaguar providing proof to my theory that this movie is not supposed to be taken seriously. Danny is playing Mac 10's Faux Life featuring Ice Cube, meaning Ice Cube separately exists in the same universe as a character played by Ice Cube.
You and Chris Army.
Your mama's.
Oh snap, such a comeback, much butthurt.
You know the story.
Of course. Beautiful. Beautiful legend. I believe, however, it's a legend of the Maku.
Dr. Kale is supposedly a professional anthropologist, yet he completely disregards the possibility that two separate indigenous groups living in close proximity to one another could share a belief. The sin, as always, is the Dunning-Kruger effect.
I know what I know. You can accept it or reject it. Leave me at the next village.
What the hell was that all about?
You were there a few minutes ago and Kale insulted Sarone's knowledge. Why his question?
We're gonna go out and get some wild sound.
These two think the documentary needs audio of them fucking. Resting antagonist face. The subs on the version I watched identify the unknown animal as a wild boar and completely ruin the surprise. But also, without the subs, this would have been sin for being a snake tease. Now the subs on my version say opera playing on CD player, which is by far the most reductive and disrespectful way to say that Luciano Pavarotti is singing Dio che ne l'ama in Fondera.
Tail! You had control of this vessel! Lie if you must!
If I had a nickel for every time in 1997 a Jonathan Hyde character was in denial about potential damage to the boat he was on, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Tail!
Goddamn rope's caught in the propeller.
We'll find out that Mateo and Cerrone are in cahoots, and that this was all part of a plan to almost kill Cale so they can use the boat to go try and catch an anaconda, which doesn't really make any sense when you think about it. Cale didn't bring the boat to the Amazon, he chartered it, meaning Mateo and Cerrone already had access to the boat. And if money were an issue, they could have used what they made from the film expedition for fuel and supplies to go catch as many snakes as they wanted. All they got from this plan was a bunch of extra people that don't know anything about snakes and are generally in the way.
The only thing I'm really afraid of is a kangaroo Q. It swims up into your urethra, spreads its thorny little spines, refuses to budge.
As awful as that sounds, the number of documented cases is so low and lacking credibility that it makes more sense to be afraid of John Voight's terrible accent. That river water would not be this clear if a camera wasn't present. This look is more disturbing than the one Edward gives Bella in Twilight.
He's hurt. I'm going.
Hold on, I got it.
Men are the heroes while the women must watch along emotionally in a 90s movie cliche. Also, Danny readily jumps in the water knowing full well about the fish that goes up your pee-pee.
Is he all right? Is he okay?
No one points out to Terry that he needed rescuing, so it's a hard no on both these fronts.
There's something in the mouth.
I would have rather watched a movie where Mateo knows about the wasp before they open Cale's mouth because he is secretly a member of the Shirashama, and his job is to protect the tribe by assassinating anyone who tries to find them. Where's that movie, huh?
Quickly.
What's that for?
Hollywood loves the cricothyrotomy because it's a fast, effective way to make people recoil in disgust while grabbing their throats. And that is what puts butts in the seats.
Man, that radio don't work.
In the middle of filming, someone asked, "Why don't they radio for help?" Then a small piece of paper was quickly passed to Ice Cube.
Mateo, we're just gonna double back.
Finding the current goes 2 days. Cut back to this tributary, save us 50 miles.
Comparing days to miles. I know I'm not good at math, but he's making shit up, right? Eating mangoes. Eating more mangoes. Eating mangoes in a way that makes me uncomfortable. Cytophilia? Gary gets the dynamite all wet, and not in a good way. Also, there wasn't even a good reason for him to get out of the little boat.
You knew there were snakes here, didn't you, Cerrone?
I'm not an animal expert, but I know with absolute certainty that snakes are everywhere in the Amazon, and that seagulls are assholes.
What about the fuel?
There's only one drum left.
This boat has a winch, and they never even attempt to retrieve a single barrel of the fuel that fell off the boat.
That's enough for about 100 kilometers.
It's sinful how many boat-related lines are given to every cast member who is not the actual boat captain.
Mateo, come with me.
Hold up. Let me get this on film.
Denise, the production manager, doesn't immediately stop Danny from wasting their expensive and limited film supply on non-Shirishama-related footage. Cerrone's watch says 4:30 right now, and the sun will set in the next 5 minutes of movie time. But when the movie started, we were at the Ariau Towers, which is -2 degrees, 54 minutes, 38.04 seconds south. At that latitude, sunset is pretty consistent at 6 p.m., plus or minus 20 minutes for a time of year and elevation. Horror movie camera pushes in for a fake out in a 90s movie cliche. Turns flashlight off, almost falls in a hole, turns flashlight back on. Excitement? Mateo gets off the boat like an asshole. From this shot to the next, the water level decreases so dramatically that it's painfully obvious that these shots being coupled together was a last-ditch effort by the editor. I have expected his eyes to pop out like Arnold Schwarzenegger's in Total Recall, and honestly, if this movie had gone that extra step to purposely make itself over-the-top campy, I may have taken a sin off. This storm signals something ominous, and it's raining because a protagonist is sad. Double feature.
So, it's out there, isn't it? Yeah. And you know how to catch these things, right?
That's right. But you can't catch an anaconda by yourself.
Of course not. That mission would be impossible. Waking up in this chair and not immediately screaming, "Everything hurts and I'm dying."
How we go from taking Cale to the hospital to catching a goddamn snake?
The question they forgot to ask in the writer's room somehow makes it into the script.
You know where you are? You're in the middle of the jungle.
Discount Guns N' Roses covers.
Okay, all you guys do is you question and you criticize. But just remember, you don't know shit.
CinemaSins.
You don't know shit about the shit we're in out here.
Shitty dialogue.
Think about how much money this would be worth.
A surprising 136 million worldwide, plus 4 sequels and a reboot.
What else are we supposed to do?
I know what I'm gonna do. I'm about to throw both of y'all son of a in the river myself.
I don't think so.
Gary is immediately okay with Cerrone shooting at his friends and colleagues, even when it is bad for his boner. And that is way too fast for my taste.
Oh, you switching for the snake? You man gotta be crazy.
Did Danny forget about everything up to this point, including being shot at? There are clearly 2 people moving lights up top of this boat right now, even though Cerrone called Westridge down to the deck, and Gary is the only one up there. Snake starts protecting Cerrone for reasons. Westridge's almost final destination in the wrong franchise. This may be one of the most bizarre things ever committed to film. The monkey was nowhere to be seen when the anaconda first popped out of the water, then appears hanging out of the mouth, ready to be spat at someone. And we're supposed to buy it because the movie told us, well, they like to puke for fun sometimes. Sensing her main character energy, the anaconda chooses to chase the others instead of just eating Jennifer Lopez. No.
¿Quieres potasio?
Bringing a baseball bat with a hook on it to a gunfight.
Us hole in one.
As much as I like this pun, Westridge hit him twice. It was more likely a birdie in your butthole. This misplaced B-roll where all the lost barrels of fuel are suddenly back.
This was all one big setup, huh? Mateo, you stranded, the shipwreck boat, your route to the hospital.
How could you forget about the wasp?
All of that worked.
I think we hit the bottom.
You hit the top, and it was quite obvious.
Last time I was in water like this, I was up all night picking leeches off my scrotum.
The size of this man's scrotum. Bringing a gun to a wooden stool fight. Okay, that was freaking cool. But also giving the coolest on-screen death to Westridge. This asshole is still asleep. When the anaconda first pops up, it has Denise by the right shoulder. Then it has inexplicably moved to the left shoulder. Continuity error? Or just an indecisive apex predator? Discuss.
Damn, the dart came out his back.
Because the dart coming out after the person is unconscious and underwater will reverse all the ill effects of drowning. That is how it works, right?
He lost consciousness again.
Being this calm when your lover passes out from a bleeding throat wound. Is that waterfall running backward? This shot of the boat backing up is just the reversed footage of it crashing. Also, due to time running in reverse, the tree that fell on the boat earlier has replanted itself.
We might have some fuel for us. I hope they got some fuel, though.
Those drums. Could be fuel. Look, there's plenty of fuel in here.
Hey, Jim. Seems we've run out of script, but we still have one more set piece. What should we do? That's an easy one, Bill. Just film them walking and saying something about fuel every couple minutes. Brilliant. That's why you make the big bucks, Jim. Bill, you don't pay me at all. I don't even work here. Having triggered discipline this terrible.
Welcome.
Scene cuts, and I'm supposed to believe that he just knocked both of them out with a single rifle blow to the head. Regardless of who he hit first, at this point, it is impossible to believe that the other didn't fight back or put up quite a struggle. I assume this is supposed to be the anaconda's POV, but whoever thought anacondas constantly turn their heads like curious puppies has clearly never seen a snake before.
See this? Human bones. That's how it comes out.
Well, now my search history includes, do anacondas poop dust? My targeted ads will never be the same. People who don't think the direction you should be looking is the most important piece of information. Is 8 o'clock high too much to ask? Great thing about tranquilizers is that they don't require a headshot. Maybe Cerrone could shoot it in a large stationary body segment, if only he could find one of those. Cerrone is the luckiest, most I'll survive all the random bullshit you throw at me character since Michael Myers fell down that shaft in Halloween 5. I don't see a handle, and it was probably not locked, but they really have this opening doors now like it's a velociraptor from Jurassic Park. Cerrone is the luckiest, most I'll survive all the random bullshit you throw at me character since the other sin about it a couple of minutes ago. Set crews in the 90s famously would grease the rungs of ladders to increase the tension.
Push it on the side. Hit the engine.
Terry is only able to escape after it is mansplained to her. Now, the snake known for its aquatic abilities is on fire, but it won't just swim because it has confused the burning sensation for hunger pains, I guess.
We should get the fuel.
Holy hell! The movie is still hung up on non-sustainable MacGuffins. Even though, given the look of this place and how long it has probably been sitting here, that fuel should be mostly useless. My buns have become tired and desensitized to this anaconda, yet the movie refuses to end.
Miss Flores, you're a mess.
This man should have too much throat pain to be making jokes. Or any number of Amazonian tribe people. This asshole really is a chip off the old Columbus block. Also, they aren't immediately killed by this tribe out of an abundance of caution.
Now, Dana told me about that big snake situation.
Somebody's up awfully early.
If you mind your own business, you live longer.
Joignez-moi avec mon équipe dans les aventures excitants.
I take great offense at that.
All right, everybody.
Eric Stoltz is your boy in that movie.
Our adventure begins 1,000 miles from the mouth of the...
Your mother.
Finds a nice warm spot, spreads its thorny little spines, refuses to budge.
Cut it out. Get out of here.
I'm not panicking.
This ain't a disco.
Snakes don't eat people.
People eat people.
Jammed. Raspberry. Don't get me upset.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.